Hey guys, what's going on? Dustin Fugate here from Three Tool Players. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. It was a white Christmas here in Cincinnati. This is not snow. This is just me being lazy and not trimming this thing. I'm going gray a little bit. I just should should wear a mask. But anyway, uh, today's video we are actually going to redraft the 2018 draft. So I kind of stole this idea from a guy named Bro Schmo on YouTube. Go follow him. Great content. He actually has a different. He does a lot of different like redraft, and draft results and mock stuff of the NFL and all that stuff. But I got the idea from him, so I'm going to do one. And really, when you talk about power drafts, 2017 is like, oh, everything's stacked. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to mix it up. So I'm going to do 2018. Now, these guys have only been in the league a couple years. So maybe by next year, we'll start saying, oh, 2018 is actually a decent draft. And I was kind of surprised. The more I like kind of dug into this draft, I was like, oh, goodness, there's actually some decent players in there. But basically, I did not really plan anything. I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to start drafting. This is called, let's see, I just typed in mock draft. It's NFL mock draft database. So you guys can go do your own, make your own and put it in the comments and just kind of compare, see what I got right, see what I got wrong. So basically, taking the players as we know them in 2020 and then just doing a redraft for 2018. All right. So we'll get right down into it. For those of you who may not know, 2018, this is the draft where Baker Mayfield went #1 overall. All right. So that is, I'll give you the top three. It's Mayfield, Barkley, Sam Darnold. So that was your top three in 2018. So we're just going to go right through here. Hopefully you can see my screen and we'll just start drafting just like we are the Browns. So obviously Browns had to take that quarterback first. I mean, they've been needing one for a while, and especially at the beginning of 2018, they really had nobody. And we have to take the best quarterback, which as of in 2020, the best quarterback right now. And it's not going to be Baker Mayfield, even though he fits really well with Kevin Stefanski and all that. It's got to be Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is the better quarterback out of all these quarterbacks. So you can make a case for Lamar, but I think just overall, the MVP season he's having this year, he still makes some stupid mistakes here and there, but overall, I think that the Browns would have loved to have him now compared to Baker. It gives you that deep ball threat, that nice throw power, and I get it. Baker's nice and tight and everything now once he's comfortable, but I think Josh Allen out on the run, a little bit more mobile, and just a bigger arm can throw off his back foot like it's nothing, whereas Baker Moore has to kind of stand there and he's really tight in his hips and all that stuff. Next up, Giants. We still got to go with Saquon on this one. I mean, he can change games for any team, any offense, and I think the Giants still have to take him here. So the Jets here, they took Sam Darnold, which we have better quarterbacks out there right now. So Sam Darnold is obviously ranked #2 right here. But we have to take the next best quarterback, and I don't think that's Baker Mayfield. Although you can make a case that it ends up being a better thrower than Lamar Jackson. But Lamar Jackson, the way he plays, what he does to different defenses, you have to take him here. And I think that he would be a pretty good fit as a Jet, basically because he's fine with carrying a load. He can he's well coached. You can easily coach this guy. So it's got to be Lamar Jackson right here with the third pick. Fourth pick, the Browns get again. I think they stay the same. I think they get the best overall corner really in the NFL right now. And I think that's Denzel Ward. He can line up man-to-man, zone, whatever. Now, Broncos, I think that they still stay defensive line here. And I think that they do go Bradley Chubb. You can make a case that they need a big defensive tackle, so you can get Vita Vea or Deron Payne. But I still think Bradley Chubb did work out well for them, so I think they still take him. Again, the Colts, I think they hit it out of the park. You have to go offensive line here. And I think you take the overall best offensive lineman in the NFL right now, and that's Quentin Nelson. You have to take him, and that's exactly what they did. And this is back when they still had Andrew Luck. This was Andrew Luck's last year, so you have to take him. Next up, Buccaneers. So the Buccaneers, they ended up, let's see, they traded down. So they traded back down to 12 and took Vita Vea. But we're not doing any like trades or anything like that. So we're just kind of keeping how the draft would have been. And I think right here, they did want to take Vita Vea, but I think overall, I think see, it's either linebacker or safety, and I think Derwin James might beat him out here. Um, you can really make a case that Mika Fitzpatrick is the better safety, but I think Derwin James, he is such a game changer that they ended up having to take him and solidifying that back end easily. Bears, they ended up taking Roquan Smith. I can't even say that right now, and I think that's a good pick. I think we stay there. It's in between him or Trey Edmonds, but I think Roquan Smith is the better pick right here. All right, so ninth, we had the 49ers take a tackle. All right, and they took Mike McGlinchey, which I think looking back, they wouldn't want to do that. He's not really playing that great. Okorafor, you could say, is a better tackle than McGlinchey. But if you're just looking at other offensive linemen, Isaiah Wynn might be all right. Will Hernandez. I mean, none of these guys. Frank Ragnow, Billy Price. You don't want to take him. But the 49ers, this is a year before Nick Bosa. So they could actually go in and try to solidify this D line a little bit if they would like. But I don't know if they do that just yet. They might just go for a corner, and which I think they do. And I would take Jair Alexander if I was them, who is a very much a number one lockdown corner right here. Raiders up next. So the Raiders actually ended up not 10th. Arizona did. But I think Raiders, I think that they ended up, or they would end up having to either take a linebacker or D line. And I think that they would have loved to have a Harold Landry, a Tremaine Edmonds, or a Vita Vea. And I think that they would probably go Trey Edmonds right now, or Tremont Edmonds, sorry, right now. So Dolphins actually took Mika Fitzpatrick, and I think that's a good pick. Only I think this time they do not trade him away for more picks. I think that they would love to have him right now, especially on that defense. Imagine that defense getting better than what it already is. All right, so the 12th pick, this was the trade with the Buccaneers earlier. So the 12th pick was actually Tampa Bay Vita Vea, and then Buffalo took Josh Allen with the 7th pick. But say they didn't do that, they needed a quarterback. Baker Mayfield falls right to them right here. I think Baker Mayfield has an easier road with the Bills right here because he's not going through multiple offensive coordinators, multiple head coaches. I think you have one solidified good coach with a good defense backing him up. They want to pound the ball. Obviously, they couldn't really run the ball in 2018. If I remember right, I could be completely wrong on that. So yeah, fact check me on that, everybody. Could the Bills run the ball in 2018? I don't know. Decent enough. But I think Baker Mayfield goes right here, and I think it actually works out. So Washington actually took Deron Payne, and I still think they stay D line, but I think I would take Vita Vea if I was them. I do like Deron Payne though. I think it's working out, but I think Vita Vea just has more upside at the moment. Packers, so they actually ended up trading down, and Marcus Davenport went in their place. So, but if the Packers were still here, they would still be looking for a cornerback, and I think they take Josh Jackson. Josh Jackson having a decent year right now at the moment. So 15th, we have Arizona, which Oakland took Colton Miller right here. But Arizona, they still need offensive linemen. They still need a tackle. They basically need everything. They took Josh Rosen earlier in the 10th in this draft, but I still think they end up not taking Josh Rosen, but they would rather have Sam Darnold right now. Obviously, they didn't have Kyler Murray yet, and they needed a quarterback. I think Sam Darnold gets picked right here. Ravens also need a quarterback, but at this point, at 16, do they take it? Not too sure. I think they might kind of look and see what they have in the cornerback section here. So you still have, I'm sorry, what am I trying to say? J.C. Jackson, there he is, right there. You can go to safeties and see who's out here. You have Jordan Whitehead. You have Jesse Bates III, Justin Reed, Ronnie Harrison, all decent safeties here. And this is before Jimmy Smith switched to safety. So I think they would love to have a safety right now. So I do think they end up taking either Jesse Bates or Justin Reed or Ronnie Harrison. And I think out of all three of them right now, Jesse Bates is one of the most underrated safeties in the game. And I think they take Jesse Bates the third. Chargers actually took Derwin James. And I still think that they would love to have another linebacker of some sorts. You still have Darius Leonard here. You still have Leighton Vander Esch. And I do believe that they end up going with Leighton Vander Esch right here. Although Darius Leonard would work well for them. Actually, I changed my mind. Because Leighton Vander Esch can kind of play more in the middle. Darius Leonard is going to come off the side, and I think that he would work well. They're going to need a pass rusher in this draft, so I believe they take Darius Leonard. After this, what is this? The 18th pick. This is where Green Bay took Jair Alexander. But we have the Seahawks up, and they need a cornerback. And Shaquem Griffin's right here. Or, I'm sorry, Shaquille Griffin is going to be here. You're going to have Leighton Vander Esch as your linebackers. Cornerbacks, you still have Carlton Davis. J.C. Jackson is still here. Just it kind of goes down after this. Darius Phillips is here. Perry Nicholson. But I do think they end up drafting J.C. Jackson. Let's just make sure that there's no offensive lineman here that really sticks out to us, which there isn't. We do need a tight end still here. So Gesicki or Hayden Hurst, Dallas Goedert is still here. Mark Andrews would actually work really well here, which I think we might have to take Mark Andrews. Now that I'm looking at it, we will end up taking Mark Andrews here. Give Russell Wilson a nice tight end. They needed a tight end, and that's what we're giving them right here. Cowboys, 19th. So this is when they took Leighton Vander Esch. I still think that is a good pick. Rashaan Evans is here, but Leighton Vander Esch will still end up being the pick. 20, this is where Frank Ragnow went, but I think Isaiah Wynn might end up having higher upside right now. But we still need a running back there. You have Sony Michel, Rojo, Nick Chubb. I forgot all about Nick Chubb. Sorry, everybody. And actually, they need a running back, so they're getting Nick Chubb 100%. Bengals right now, 2018 Bengals. They needed offensive linemen. This is where Billy Price went. Isaiah Wynn does have higher upside. They needed linebackers at this time too. And they also had their safeties were getting old. But, I think they still go. Let's see what we have wide receivers. It's funny how we're just like skipping all the wide receivers. Calvin Ridley, DJ Moore. Wide receiver wasn't really the problem for the Bengals. It was all offensive line. They needed tackles. McGlinchey still out there. Colton Miller still here. Orlando Brown, Okorafor, Brian O'Neill. Not really too many names that just straight stick out to you and you go, oh my gosh, this draft's loaded. But I do think that they're going to go Ragnow or Billy Price or Isaiah Wynn. And I think that you have to go Ragnow on this. Isaiah Wynn does have a little bit higher upside, but I think the safe play would be Ragnow here. Next up, this is where Tennessee took Rashaan Evans because Buffalo traded all those picks up, right, to end up getting Josh Allen. But Buffalo, they took Josh Allen earlier. They just want to solidify their linebacking core because Edmonds is gone. So I think they're going to take Rashaan Evans right here with the 22nd pick. 23, this is where Isaiah Wynn went. He went to New England. So, wait, hold on. Is that right? Yeah, the New England Patriots. Sorry, I don't know why that caught me off guard. And I still think that they end up taking Isaiah Wynn here. We could actually let's look at the safeties here. They don't really need a safety at this point in time, but cornerbacks, Carlton Davis, J.C. Jackson. I think they do take J.C. Jackson right here. We have them, J.C. Jackson in the 23rd round. 24th overall, DJ Moore, Carolina. If you're going to get a wide receiver, DJ Moore would be nice, but Calvin Ridley's still sitting here. And obviously, 100% you need Calvin Ridley because he's a beast right now at the Panthers. 25th overall, this is where Baltimore took Hayden Hurst. But Tennessee is up. And what do they need besides everything at the moment? They needed a quarterback. They needed a run game. Well, actually, I take that back. They had Derrick Henry. So they didn't really need that much of a run game. They needed some wide receivers, which they might get some wide receivers right here. You got Michael Gallup still out here, Traquan Smith, Auden Tate, Antonio Callaway. And I do think we'll just take DJ Moore here because they need some weapons here for Mariota, that is. Let's see, Falcons with the 26th, and this is where Calvin Ridley went. But I think that they're still trying to search for a wide receiver, and really they don't like any of these. But DJ Chark's here, and he's actually pretty good, and so is Michael Gallup. And if they're gonna stay wide receiver, which I think they do, because you have to solidify or you have to help out Julio, right? He's on his own. At this moment, who's the running back for the Falcons at this point in time? I don't know. Do we give them Sony Michel or Kerryon Johnson or anybody? Nah, I don't think so. Well, who's the tight ends that we got here? Do we? They had Austin Hooper at this time, so you don't really need a tight end. But I think out of Cortland Sutton, James Washington, DJ Chark, those are all hard. Michael Gallup, we'll give him DJ Chark just because LSU, we all know the LSU wide receiver pedigree there. Saints at 27. This is where Seattle traded and got Rashad Penny. So I'm sorry if I'm butchering all these trades or whatnot. These might actually be from trades from like the previous year or something like that. But at this moment, they didn't have Kamara just yet. And I think that they had Mark Ingram, so they didn't really need a running back, but they would have loved to have Geis. They needed a tight end at the time too. Goddard Hurst is here, and they really needed a safety as well. So I can see them taking a Ronnie Harrison, and that's what we're going to give them right here. Let's see. Steelers, 28th pick. They took Terrell Edmonds with the safety. I think they still end up taking that. I think that's a decent enough safety. Actually, no. Let's see here. Sorry. You see, if I would have planned this, it would have been a much better video than it's just me talking out loud to myself and going, no, I don't think they do that. Let's see here. Knowing, because this is the weird year where Le'Veon kind of set out and all that good stuff. So I think that they would have loved to have a Ronald Jones here. Geis, if he did not end up doing all that crazy stuff, right? I mean, we kind of have to just the domestic violence, we have to kind of block all that out. But we'll just say that we're not going to draft him. We'll just say they need Ronald Jones right now because James Conner's not cutting it. They have like 2 all pros on their offensive line right now, and they still can't run the ball. Their offensive line is usually the top offensive line in the AFC North and in the AFC. And they can't do anything with James Conner, even though James Conner did have one good year there. But you know what? Ronald Jones, it is. Is this the year that James Conner was actually in the draft? I could be completely wrong. Justin Jackson. Let's see here. How far does this go down? Some football team. Philip Lindsay is in here. Wow, I didn't know that. I guess that makes sense. All right. Jacksonville's up with 29th pick. This is where they took defensive tackle Taven Bryan, which I still think that they want to go defensive line here. And Marcus Davenport's here is pretty good for the Saints. He still starts. Deron Payne's here. And then obviously Taven Bryan. Sam Hubbard's here, who's actually really solidified himself as a nice edge rusher for the Bengals. BJ Hill, Trenton Thompson, Deshaun Hand. And I think that they actually just go Davenport here. Let's see. 30th, Minnesota took Mike Hughes, cornerback, which I still think they probably take that right here. Carlton Davis, Davis has proved himself. Dante Jackson, Quentin Meeks. Um, Knowing that they have the turnover that they already just had, I think that they still have to take Mike Hughes because he's been playing all right, and their cornerbacks are just all young. I think that you have to take him there. Patriots right here, they took Sony Michel and they needed a running back and they needed a run game, and he's still out there. But we have to look at these tight ends. This is when Tom Brady still played for the Patriots and they needed a tight end. And really, any of these top three would definitely work. But who's going to be the better pass blocking, the better catching all around? It's got to be Gesicki or Goddard. And I think they take Dallas Goddard here. And I think that actually changes the offense for New England Patriots in the 2018 season. Last but not least is the Eagles, which this pick was occupied by Baltimore when they took Lamar Jackson. And I think the Eagles need pretty much everything at the moment. They need a run game. They need wide receivers that actually do anything. They don't need an offensive line. Their D line's getting a little old. Their edge rushers are old. Linebackers. You still have Malik Jefferson out here. Safeties wide. You got Justin Reed, Terrell Edmonds. You got Marcus Allen. This is hard. Who would they need in the 2018 season? That's what I'm trying to like. You got Levi Wallace still out here. Do they take a safety at the moment? I mean, or a wide receiver. Who did they need in 2018? Gosh, who'd they have? They had Alshon. They had they had everybody there. Let me see if I can kind of cheat a little bit here. You know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to cheat. I'm just going to go with my gut feeling here. I know they needed wide receivers, but I think that they end up having to take a running back, and they don't have Miles Sanders just yet here in the 2018 season. They just have Jay Ajayi. Yeah, they got to take Sony Michel right here. Let's just make sure that we're not missing anybody. Ballage, Mark Walton, who the Bengals took. Josh Adams is here. Justin Jackson, Chase Edmonds, all decent enough picks. These are all like, you got some solid backups down here. Darrell Williams is here. Let's see. Yeah, they're gonna get Sony Michel. They're drafting Sony Michel. All right, guys. So let's see. Can I save this, or do I gotta log in? Or can I just get out of this? What is going on now? Oh, that is sad. That is really sad that my that my laptop totally just froze up on me here, guys. I'm completely sorry. But anyway, we'll give you a quick rundown from the 26th to the 32nd. You have Falcons taking DJ Chark, Ronnie Harrison with the Saints, Rojo at the Steelers. You got Davenport with the Jags. Mike Hughes stays with the Vikings. Goddard, New England Patriots, and Sony Michel with the Eagles. I think that is a decent enough draft. I'm sorry that we could not fully recap that. Completely sorry. I apologize to everybody here. And I'm having a heck of a time with these with my computer at the moment. All right, guys. Well, this is all. I'm Dustin Fugate. Sorry for just butchering this draft here at the end. My computer just totally crapped out. I'm just gonna hit restart, see what happens here. Yep, I'm having difficulties all around here. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Put your drafts in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will talk to you guys later. See you guys.